And wait, what's up, guys? It's Nathaniel. What's up, guys? It's Nathaniel with the Prototype Fitness here, and I'm about to show you guys the deadlift. The deadlift is a very good posterior chain exercise, meaning it helps build strength in your in the muscles behind you, your hamstrings, calves, your back, your mid back, upper back, maybe even your lower back. It helps strengthen your lower back, but you shouldn't be feeling strain in your lower back. Typically, one of the most common things I hear from most people is pain in their lower back. So I'm gonna go over the deadlift in detail and show you guys how to do it properly and prevent injury in your lower back. Now that I have my bar set up, I am ready to begin my deadlift. The very first thing I will begin with is my setup. I will begin by placing my feet about hip width. So I want everything to be one straight line. My feet, my knees, and my hip should be one straight line. That's if you're doing hip width. If you need a little bit more room, you can step out and have your feet a little bit wider. You do not want your feet to be wider than your shoulders, however. You may run into some trouble with the setup. Once you have your feet set up anywhere from hip or shoulder width, you're going to get down and grab the bar. You want to make sure your feet or your knees are not touching your hands. You want to leave a little bit of room and between your knees and your elbows. Make sure your knees are not touching your elbows, and that's why you want to make sure your feet are anywhere between hip and shoulder width. Once you have your setup, you are ready to press your feet into the ground, pull your shoulder blades back, and press. You want to think of the deadlift as a pressing movement because you're going to reach down, grab the bar, and press your feet away from the floor. Once again, once you reach down, you're going to grab the bar, you're going to press your feet firmly into the floor. And as you press your feet into the floor, you're going to push your hips through, and that hip drive is actually what lifts the bar off the ground. It is not much of your hands pulling, it is your feet and your hips pressing and pushing simultaneously to help you lift the weight. The weight should start to come off the ground once your hips start to move up. And once your hips start to lower, the weight should start to lower as well. Your hips should be the driving factor in the deadlift movement. Once you press your hips through, the weight should move, and once you lower, the weight should lower. Two common mistakes when deadlifting are rounding of the back and raising your hips, locking out the knees before you're supposed to. So locking out the knees too soon and rounding of the lower back. I will go over these now. Rounding of the lower back typically happens when the lats are not set in place. To correct this, you want to depress your scapula by pulling your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Next, you want to press your feet into the floor and push your hips through. At the top, keep your shoulder blades pulled down towards your hips and let your hips push back towards the floor to lower and drop. Reset for your next set by depressing your scapula and pushing your hips through. The second mistake most people make when deadlifting is lifting the hips up and locking out the knees too soon. You want to make sure your hips, your knees, and the weight are all moving at the same time. You do not want to round your back or push your hips up too soon. Make sure you reset, take a nice deep breath at the bottom, press your heels and push your hips through. Lower the weight by pushing your hips back. Reset, push your hips through, push your hips back, and reset. Remember, it's always about the pushing. Push your hips through, breathe out at the top, push your hips back to reset. And that's it, guys. That's how you do the perfect deadlift. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like or a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.